Okay, this one is called Creep in a Single Wide Trailer. Yeah. I stood outside a single wide trailer peeing, wondering if I should run. There was a man in the trailer, a real creep, and he might kill me if I run. He might be watching me right now, but I don't want to turn around and look. Instead, I look out on a cow pasture and a rusty barbed wire fence about 40 yards away. Beyond the fence is an oak grove with balls of mistletoe hanging in the highest branches. No one else in sight. I don't know why I ever climbed into his truck. I knew better. They even showed us a film in the 6th grade. It was called The Child Molester. It was after school and we had to get parental permission and pay 75 cents to see it. Some creep killed 2 little girls with a screwdriver, then dumped their headless bodies in a drainage ditch. At the end of the film, they showed real pictures of the girls floating in the water. I never found out why the water was foamy, like soap says. Can they show that? Teacher, is that real? Yes, it's real. And kids, never accept a ride from a stranger. It can happen to you, she said. But it didn't seem like something that could happen to me. Also, I've always been shy and it's hard to say no, especially to grown-ups. So when he suggested it, I got into his truck. When I first saw him, he was grinning at me and seemed friendly. He was coming out of Eddie's Market as I was going in. What are you doing, he asked. Skipping school? He winked at me like we were friends with a secret. No, I'm not skipping, it's just lunchtime. It's too nice of a day to be in school, hot, stuffy classes. He grimaced and shuddered like he could feel it. Yeah, it's a nice day, I said, agreeing. Almost summer. So you want to go to a party? A party? Yeah, it's at my place. Come on, you're invited. It'll be a lot of fun. I imagined a bunch of people talking and laughing in the sun, women wearing long dresses with wide summer hats and music. I followed him across the parking lot to his truck. He wore a tight white t-shirt and blue jeans, cowboy boots. He had long hair and sideburns like Elvis. We climbed into a beat-up blue truck, one of those from the 1940s, a long stick shift that went all the way to the floorboard, faint smell of gasoline. As he pulled out of the parking lot, he asked, "Do you drink?" "Yeah, water," I said. "Water? Ha ha ha, I wasn't talking about water, I was talking about alcohol. Do you drink alcohol?" I felt stupid. I just didn't know what he was asking. He never said alcohol the first time. Sure, I drink alcohol, I said, trying to be cool now and not stupid. Open the glove box, there's something in there. He opened it. Laying on its side was a pint bottle of vodka. It had a red paper label. "Open it, drink some. Go ahead, it's okay." He was looking over at me as he drove, looking and smiling, shifting gears. I took a swallow. Gack. I took another. I handed the bottle toward him, but he waved it away. "Can't, I'm driving. I'll have some later." "Go ahead, have some more," he said. I took a few more swallows because I knew he wanted me to, but I didn't like the taste. It reminded me of the smell of a hospital emergency room. Also, my face felt hot. We drove it out into the country. I had no idea it was so far. I started to worry about getting back if something went wrong. It would be a long walk, I thought to myself. It was like being swept out to sea, lost on all that water. I didn't say anything because he would think I was changing my mind about going to the party and he might get mad. I kept quiet, but I watched out the window and tried to keep track of landmarks so I could find my way back, just in case. A creek winding through a stand of birch trees, an old cattle ranch with a herd of black Angus, a leaning grain silo off in the distance, a low-shaped hill round like a turtle's back, trees and more trees. After a while, I lost track. We finally turned down a gravel driveway that led to a single-wide trailer. It looked neglected, sunken into the ground, rusty and sagging. As we bounced down the driveway, he looked at me and chuckled and said, "We may be the only ones at the party." Yeah, big joke. I guess I fell for it like a dummy. My stomach got tight as we pulled in. Maybe, I thought, if I act like everything's okay, it'll be okay. It's going to be okay. We went into the trailer, which was almost empty. He poured me a drink from a bottle. I don't know what it was, but he mixed Coca-Cola with it and put it in a pink plastic glass, no ice. It was strong, but tasted better than the vodka. I didn't want to drink it, but I sipped at it. We sat on the bed because it was the only place to sit, and he touched my leg. His leg touched my leg. Do you go to junior high? Yeah, Junction. What grade are you in? I just started the 7th grade at Junction, but I used to go to another school. Do you like school? Yeah, it's okay. Not really. Do you play any sports? No, I don't play sports. I didn't tell him it was because the jocks always hogged the ball and never threw it to me. Do you have a girlfriend? No, not really. Sort of. Oh yeah? No, not really. How's your drink? Good, it tastes good, thank you. Hey, I want to show you something, he said. He reached into a cabinet under the bed and pulled out a glossy magazine. He opened it and set it in his lap. It had nasty pictures in it. Women and men, men and men, women and women, a bunch of men and women all naked and tangled up together. He pointed to a picture. What do you think of that? What about this one? He turned the pages. Have you ever done that? Do you think you would ever do this? I didn't want to say yes because then he would think I wanted to do it with him. And if I said no, he might get offended and then who knows what he might do. Well, I have to use the bathroom, I said. He said, you'll have to go outside. The bathroom in here doesn't work. I walk outside about 30 feet from the trailer. I pee in the grass and look out across a cow pasture to a rusty barbed wire fence, then beyond it to an oak grove with balls of mistletoe hanging in the highest branches. I start calculating. If I run, I could head for that fence about 40 yards out. But if I get to it, I still have to get through the wires. What if I get caught on that rusty barbed wire and he comes for me? I know if I could get past the fence, he couldn't catch me. I'm best at long distances. But if I run and he catches me, he'll be scared because I ran and I might tell somebody. I wonder if he's watching me right now. I don't want to turn around and look. I imagine his face in the little square kitchen window, intent, looking at me with the face of a spider. I really climbed into his web, didn't I? If I run and he catches me, he could kill me and bury me out here, and my mom and dad would never know what happened to me. I would just vanish, and they would spend the rest of their lives wondering what happened to their boy. The thought of them never knowing what happened to me made me decide not to run, not to take the chance. I finish peeing and zip up, then I take one last look at the rusty fence and the oak grove beyond it. They seem far away, like in a dream. I have to make it through this. I have to get home. I turn and walk back to the trailer and open the door and go in. You're back, he says, sounding surprised. I instantly regretted not having run. Why didn't I run? I could have made it. The creep still has his magazine in his lap and smiles at me. Okay, that's the end of that one. White space. What do they call this, a transition? A few days later, I'm alone on our little ranch where we have horses and cows and a bunch of chickens. I'm doing my chores, feeding hay to the horses, and something comes up inside of me. A blinding red rage out of nowhere, like it's going to eat me up, and it makes me sick, like I want to vomit it all out, but I'm afraid of getting sick, so I swallow it instead. And it goes deep, deep down and poisons me. But instead of vomiting, I get cold, like something inside of me shuts off and my head is empty and dark, except for the strongest urge I ever had, the urge to make something pay. All my thoughts get focused down to a single point. It's like looking down a long tunnel with only one thing at the end of it, red blind murder. And I go and grab an aluminum baseball bat from the house and make a beeline for the chicken yard. I watch myself striding fast with the bat and can't stop. I can't stop or turn left or right, as if it all has to happen just this way. I burst through the gate of the chicken yard and start swinging the bat in every direction, and the chickens panic and run away, but I chase them down, clubbing them. A part of me is curled up in a tiny ball hidden in a dark corner of my mind, watching it all, and is horrified and scared and so sad at what I'm doing, but I can't stop it. And I beat down a chicken and stand over it and keep beating it even after it's dead. And I beat it until I can't even see its head anymore. And I'm cursing it and saying terrible, profane things to it as if it deserved all that it got. That's the one that bothered me the most. After that one, I stopped. Then my thinking started again, like a generator engine turning on, and I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe what you have done. What did you do? This is sick, really a sick thing you have done. I have to take care of this now and get rid of the evidence. Hide this or you're going to be in big trouble. How would you even explain this when they ask you why you did it?" Everything around me seemed changed, like I had lost something, but I didn't know what. I collected up the dead chickens, 10 of them, and I carried them by their feet in 2 bundles and took them over the hill through a patch of waist-high ferns, down past the cattle pond, under some low-hanging trees. A little creek trickled there in the shadows, and the skunk cabbages blossomed and stank. I left the chickens laying on the ground and went back up the hill for a shovel. When I returned, I dug a shallow trench. The dirt was a rich black rot that was so moist it sucked at the shovel. I stopped after I hit red clay. I laid the chickens down in the bottom of the trench, then pulled the dirt back over them. I thought, it's obvious that something got buried here, but it won't be long, and the forest will take it all. I wish the forest would take me, too. After I buried the chickens, I tried not to think about them anymore, and I avoided that spot with a little creek where the damned skunk cabbages blossom and stink. I wish I had a humorous one right now. Some beautiful poem. Do I have time for a little short something else? I think it's a... Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Well, okay, this one's not a light, cozy one either. Sorry. It's called I Can't Find a Vein. On Friday night, I went to the Red Apple Market to get a beer. As I paid and walked out, a woman looked at me and I looked back at her. I think we recognized something broken in each other. She followed me out of the store. She was wearing tight white shorts and a dirty blue tank top that had Mickey Mouse on the front. Her messy, short blonde hair looked fake, like cheap doll's hair. Dope sores speckled her face. "Do you live around here?" she asked. I ought to say no, I thought. This looks like trouble. Say no, just say no. "Yeah, I do. I live right here in the alley." "Hey," she said, "if you let me use your bathroom, I'll hook you up with some Go Fast." Go Fast is slang for meth. The second she offered me the dope, my brain shut off, like somebody pulled the plug on a television set. Blank, black screen. I said, "Okay, we can do that." Did I just say okay? Once inside the apartment, I locked the door and she dug through her purse and gave me a packet of stuff. It had no color or smell, just white powder. I held it up to the kitchen light and looked at it, squinting one eye like I was some sort of expert. The meth I had done before had a pinkish orange color and smelled like roses mixed with diesel fuel. I haven't done it in a while. I thought maybe this is a different kind than I remember. She also pulled out a bundle of syringes. They were bound together by a red rubber band. She peeled one off and handed it to me. "I think it's clean," she said, "but you might want to rinse it out just in case." Okay, I said, holding it carefully in my hand, the way a child would hold an insect that might bite. She scurried off for the bathroom, and I knelt under the sink and pulled out a plastic bottle of bleach. Then I ran the bleach through the syringe several times. What am I doing? The damn thing looks rusty. Does bleach kill AIDS? Even if it does, I know it doesn't kill hepatitis. My friend Jeremiah almost died from hep. I saw him in the alley that day, and his skin and his terrible eyes were so yellow, like he was a glow stick. So sick. I deserve to get something. I forced those thoughts away because by then I really wanted to inject whatever was in the packet. Go Fast, crank, meth, whatever you want to call it. I put the meth in a spoon and dribbled in a little tap water, then added a wad of cotton I tore from a cigarette filter. I sucked the meth up through the cotton into the syringe and injected it and stood in the kitchen waiting for it to take effect. Nothing. It had been stepped on. diluted so many times it was worthless. All for nothing. I felt nothing. Maybe a little something. Hard to tell. What have I done? I can't believe this. I suddenly wanted her out of the apartment, out of my life, but she had locked herself in the bathroom. A deal is a deal, so I waited. I lit a cigarette and blew the smoke out the front door. I smoked another one and drank some of the beer. I looked up at the moon. It looked dirty, the color of faded urine. I couldn't see the stars. Too many lights in the city. I don't feel a damn thing. What's taking so long? I think I feel a little something. I went to the bathroom door and listened. Couldn't hear anything. What if she OD'd in there? How would I explain that? I knocked. Are you all right? Yeah, she said, but I can't find a vein. Her voice sounded far away, as if she sat down a long tunnel. I'm trying, she said. Okay, all right. I walked away and lit another cigarette, chain smoking. Somewhere in the distance, I heard a siren wailing. A dog barked and wouldn't shut up. The song of the city. I just want this to be over and get back to normal. I kept looking at the clock in the kitchen. Finally, 40 minutes later, she came out. Her bare white legs dripped blood, little trickles as if birds with thin, sharp beaks had attacked her, or giant mosquitoes. It reminded me of a painting I once saw, The Martyrdom of St. Sebastian. I had trouble, she said. She wasn't even wiping off the blood. I felt sorry for her. Her dirty blouse and the blood and sores, somewhere underneath was someone's little girl. Big blue eyes looking out from the smeared mess. Bye, she said. Thanks. Yeah, you too. Bye. Outside, the dog was still barking. I watched her limp down the alley, now only a silhouette, then I shut the door.